Hey y'all, I'm Brian. I love to use my creativity on all sorts of projects, but most importantly, to spark the creativity and inspiration in you. So subscribe to my channel and follow along. We've got all sorts of amazing projects to do, like this holiday Christmas centerpiece. You're gonna be shocked when you find out how easy it is to make and how inexpensive the supplies were. Okay, let's get started. So the container that I'm gonna use is this oval shaped longer container because I think we're gonna go long ways. But what started all this particular arrangement is this ribbon. I love this ribbon. Look at it. It's so pretty. I actually went to Walmart and I found this, and it's embroidered with sequins. It's like a designer style ribbon, and it was only like $12.98. So $13. And I mean, designer ribbon, I mean, if you know, it's anywhere from like $50 to $80 a roll. So I saw this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get that and do something with it. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to be using the jewels. These are really, really popular. You can get these pretty much, there's a lot of places online, but this time of year, everything like Hobby Lobby, they didn't have a huge selection of them left. They had some like different colors and everything, but not really anything that was, you know, too jaw-dropping, I guess. But so I have the red and I have a couple other ones, so I'll probably do a few arrangements, but I'm going to use this teardrop shape one. And then we're going to use, I also found this like geometric deer with the gold. So I think that's going to be really pretty. And we'll do something that's kind of long, and then this will be the centerpiece. So we'll get started with that, and I'll show you how to attach everything and how we're going to put all this together. For the ribbon, I'll link that in my profile so you can probably find it online. I don't know, I'll have to check and see, and then but I'll link that. I was hoping they had other colors too because I really like silver and blue. So these are actually like bamboo skewers, so like for like grilled shrimp or something like that, but they have this little flat handle on the end of them. So I really like these for arrangements and everything because it gives you a big space to glue, so you're going to have good coverage, and then be able to stick those in. Because like floral picks, I mean, they're just like a toothpick with wire on the end of it, basically. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this. So this side right here is pretty flat, so it should be okay. And I'm using Gorilla Glue, hot glue sticks. I love those. They work really, really well. Get this placed on there. Add a little bit more glue just to be sure. Especially if you have this on a dining room table. I can only imagine this thing popping off and falling in somebody's meal. That'd be my luck. So these magnolia leaves, you can get these. I think I got these from Hobby Lobby, actually. I love going in there because they have always all kinds of good stuff. And typically, anywhere I go, I like to physically look at stuff versus like ordering a bunch of things online. But I like to go to, especially if it's Christmas, looking at places and not going in the Christmas aisle, but going to like the floral aisle and stuff like that, because there's a lot of things in there that you can use that'll work perfect for any holiday that aren't necessarily in that department. So I'm thinking I'll probably go long ways like this. I just want to plan this out a little bit. That's one thing I always like to do, versus going back and being like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I don't like the way that looks. Okay, so let's place this and we'll get started. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this for the middle, and you can see how this is going down at an angle, which is fine. Just need to compensate for that because you don't want this going in and hitting the back wall of the container. So we'll start here. I think that's looking good. And I'll probably, what we can do is, since it's kind of wobbly, we'll go back and attach some more either supports to it or greenery, some of the bigger stuff, but let's see. Let's work on some more. Let me get my brake in the right position. There we go. So that's on. So, and these I always just kind of like any of the picks, you always want to fluff and just kind of shape them to the direction that you're wanting to go before you put them in. That way you're not sticking it in and then having to bend and push and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go with these gold ones. And this is my first like full length going through an arrangement and recording it. So it's kind of new for me. So hopefully you enjoy it. And if you do, be sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Like and comment. I'm working on my YouTube channel and creating more content and trying to grow as a creator. So all kinds of stuff planned. So let's see. I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to do a little bit of glue and it helps it go in. We'll just start here. And then let me see what that looks like. And I will switch this, spin this around back and forth so you guys can see it. I think probably this should work. Cut some more of this off. Ooh, that was loud. And we'll go in there with this one. And you can always start with like your smaller greenery and stuff like that, but for this particular arrangement, I wanted to start with the bigger elements of it because I just want to make sure that the whole style that we're going for is even gonna work. So a lot of times it's just, you can plan, but it's looking at it and deciding as you go. So we've got that. So let's fill in some of the back with some picks. And I've also got just a little piece of garland. I just cut off a section just because these are really good to fill in like the gaps and holes and stuff. So we'll end up using that as well. I'm going to take this pine cone off and we might add it later. And then you always want to fluff out your picks. Let's see what we're looking like. I think we'll go bending these. We're just going to go through and using this as a backdrop kind of just to fill in. And let's look at and I don't know about y'all, but I think my brain just inherently goes to things being symmetrical, which sometimes is not always the best look, but it's just how it works for me. I don't know why, but so let's see. Let's get these and we'll go in there. So that's looking good. So this is already looking good and we've only got 4 picks and stuff in there. These also are kind of like the cedar picks. I grabbed these from Walmart too. So these are really affordable. I think these were like $1, but they're really good too. You can see they fill out really nicely. I love the way that they look. I've even put glue and added some big chunky glitter and stuff to the leaves for some of them too. So let's see, cut this off. The holidays are always hectic. We've got trees that I need to get done, and then of course you have family and events and everything. So I hope everybody's got all their Christmas stuff planned, because it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and it's every place I've gone to do supplies and everything, it's already looking sparse for Christmas. So I'm gonna pull these out some and see how we're looking in here. And even though we're doing this elongated design, you can still do asymmetrical. So if you want it kind of like swooping down, so you'd have like, probably we're going to do like a bow over here and have stuff moving down. So in the deer, I'm thinking we'll do like deer over here. We'll see. I'm glad this thing has a brake, because it's like chasing. So we'll go through, I'm gonna add some hot glue to this one, and I think we're just going to put that there. Spread this out like a spray. And looking good. So we're filling all this in. So the next part I think I'm going to do, just to make sure we have this, I like to get kind of like the focal points situated. That way I know for sure how. Yeah, I think I like that there. Okay, so I've got the deer attached. I went ahead and just put some wire around that leg as well, with the pick, just to give it some extra strength, because it's just that one little leg holding it in. So I wanted to make sure it was nice and secure. So I'm gonna set this here. And I'm gonna take about, it looks like maybe, let's do like two loops, I think. I'm gonna cut this. So the way that I'm doing this is we're going to loop over just once, and then holding that, we're going to loop over again. So you've got 2 loops there, and then just this little front tail. So again, we're just going to scrunch that a little bit in the middle, and we'll add the wire. I love this ribbon. It's so pretty. We're going to be putting this kind of in here. So one thing I like to do, like when I was cutting the stems for these, the tips that come off, I just kind of set these to the side, because you never know when you're going to need one to do, I mean, just like what we're fixing to do. So this ribbon, I'm just going to put some hot glue on this and insert this into here. That way it gives us something to stick down into the foam, because I have floral foam just glued into the bottom of that container. So we'll stick that in there. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we'll add some hot glue to the pick. And I'm going to go all the way down in there. And so you can see how we're kind of going at an angle this way, so everything is centered, and then we'll probably do another one of those on the back side. But this is going to look really, really good. And then we'll start adding some more red in. So we've got loop, another loop, and with this ribbon, since it's embroidered and has sequins, I'm not going to dovetail it because I don't want everything to start unraveling. So what we'll do is, I'll show you in a second, we'll just fold it over, and then we'll put some hot glue on there too, just to make sure that we don't get any sequins starting to unravel and fraying, and get these loops put together. That looks pretty good. I went ahead and stuck that pick in there first. That should work. So we'll just scrunch that together, and so you can see I've got just the 2 loops, and then we'll have our little tail come out. So for this part, I'll show you. I'm just doing a couple dots of hot glue because the embroidery and the sequence and everything on this ribbon is so thick that it'll just unfold itself. A lot of times with like wire ribbon and everything, if you need to just fold it over, it works fine, but this is really, really thick velvet, and then the embroidery and everything on it makes it unfold. Okay, so we've got our pick that we're going to do on this back side over here, so we can still have somewhat of a front and a back, but it's still, like I said, going to look good from either angle, so you can see. So I like that. Let's get some glue, and we'll just go in. And for these, I just like to fluff these out and down with them. The ribbon is so pretty. There we go. Okay, so we've got some of the ribbon in, and then now we're just going to keep adding some greenery. It's looking really good. I love the deer. I think we're going to do some red. I think I want to add some red ornaments to it as well. These are really pretty too, but I don't think, I'm not digging the squiggly with this particular arrangement. So we've got some of these red larger berries. Oh, that's really pretty. Y'all look at this. I think these will look really good in here. These larger ones, those are really pretty. So let's add some red. So I think I'm gonna add some ornaments. And so another thing I like to do, like that little piece of garland that I had cut off and showed you, I'm gonna attach ornaments to the end of this. It's a trick that I always love to use for, I mean, like even Christmas trees or wreaths, but we're gonna actually use hot glue. So I just wired and glued a pick to the end of this. And what we're gonna do is, like this hole and stuff in here, I'm gonna put this in here, and then we'll attach our ornaments to that. So what we'll do is put hot glue on here, and the branches of this, the ornament goes down on it. That way it's like you can move it around and adjust it. So let me get this stuck in here, and then we'll add the ornaments. Just gonna find where I can go in at an angle and fill up this hole, because all of this greenery will be down on the inside. So this branch I'm going to attach this ornament to. So just some hot glue, and we're going to take the branch and slide that into the ornament, and all that glue is going to be nice and stuck inside the ornament and to the branch, and it's wired. So that way, as you can see, you can move all this around. Branch down here, we'll add some white, this white glittery ornament too. And these are just the inexpensive plastic shatterproof ornaments. And they come in so many colors. And let's see. I think it's looking good. I like the ornaments on there, it breaks it up. Alrighty, so we have our ornaments attached in here, and then I've just gone in and inserted a pick into this white ornament with some glue, and we're going to stick this down. So you can see this other side, we're working on filling in some of the gaps, and we're going to add the berries. And then the smaller picks like this, I like to just look for holes, especially down here, because everything tends to go up at an angle. So these are perfect to fill in those little holes that might not be visible from the angle that you're designing it from. Fill this in up here. So I'm just looking for the larger gaps, obviously. It's all just a process of looking where you want something, seeing if it works for you, arranging it, adjusting everything. And I'll adjust those some more as well. All this hot glue. And then we've got some berries. I don't think I want this whole huge group of berries. I don't know, I think it would be a little too much. So I'm gonna cut these off and use them in smaller pieces. Okay, so we're filling in all of our gaps, and I'm gonna take, you can always just break stuff apart. I'm just gonna cut this just to give some extra sparkle in some areas. And I think we're gonna put maybe across these leaves just to fill that up some. See how we like that. And then I like to place stuff before I glue it. That way, if I think, that doesn't really work too well there, then I can just pull it out and put it somewhere else. So, but I think this is looking good. So what I'm doing is checking around this underneath here to make sure there's no like huge open spots, especially if it's a centerpiece and people are going to be sitting and looking. So, but I think it's looking good. There we go. I think we'll call this one finished. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. It's free. It helps me out. Like I said, I'm continuing to grow, make more content and more DIY, not just for the Christmas holidays, but all throughout the year. There's all kinds of projects. Like I said, I really appreciate y'all watching and hope you get inspiration and helpful tips from this arrangement. I think it turned out great. Thanks. We'll see y'all next time.